Pride of Britain Awards is about to celebrate its 10th anniversary. Ahead of this momentous occasion, Mirror.co.uk caught up with the judging panel to ask why the awards are so important and how they found the judging process.
I actually think in this country it's the most important awards show of the year. This show's about normal people with extraordinary stories, and they thoroughly deserve their time in the spotlight.
I think the Pride of Britain Awards are really important because it recognises the general population and gives them recognition for what they've gone through in their life, and I think that's applauded when we can actually highlight those individuals.
They celebrate acts of great valour and intuition which would otherwise go unregarded. There are lots of stories that we don't get to hear, and so-called ordinary people performing extraordinary acts. And the Pride of Britain is one of the few opportunities we have to celebrate them, so I think it's important.
I think because all the other awards that you see are around celebrity and people doing their day-to-day work, whereas this is about men and women of Britain going that extra mile, and that is what's so important. It's about us being able to applaud the things that happen daily in our lives that we never get to say thank you for.
They're important because they highlight the achievements of the ordinary man and woman and child in Britain today. And I think that's very important for us to remember how people really live and what they do and what they achieve that are, these remarkable things. It's just incredible.
It's absolutely incredible people out there, but it was as always, and it's the word that always seems to come up when you turn up at the awards, or even today, it's humbling. It just makes you realise how lucky you are, and also how proud you are to be British when you see some of the people's acts of bravery. It's just ridiculously incredible.
I always find judging of these kind of awards very, very difficult because you just want to give everybody an award that's nominated. And I think you kind of look at everybody's story and you have your own judgment from the first time. And then we meet as judges. And then there's always this debate because somebody puts a little twist to a story and you kind of think, oh, right, well, maybe I should be, voting for them. Or you're quite adamant about a story because you're passionate that they deserve it. So we've had some really good, interesting debates today, and it's been great.
Well, it's annoying because I've got to now deal with 15 people and I can't get my own way every time. So it's good but annoying. Too many people with opinions.
It's been very difficult. Everyone should be a winner, really. It's very difficult, and they're just a few that have got through to the final sort of nominations.
Was there any particular criteria that you used?
I must admit I resorted back to my sort of teaching experience. So I was doing marks out of 10, like any good teacher would. But unfortunately, when it got to the children's categories, particularly, it was 10, 10, 10, and 10. So,
The hardest thing is, to be honest with you, because these are people who have been shortlisted, is to say to someone with an incredible story, you don't deserve to be recognised. That's the hard thing about judging it, because you could say, for all the stories I saw today, every one of them should be recognised for that. And I find that difficult, particularly with some of the older people, in their 60s, 70s and 80s, and that bothers me.
Well, I particularly liked the Co-op Award for the kind of local hero, and mine was a guy called Tony Fowler, who is a milkman and does all of those things that milkmen do. He's the eyes and ears of his community. He travels 100 miles a day, which I think must make him the fastest milkman in the West. But he does the most amazing things, apart from watching out for flooding and robberies and various incidents that the police won't see because they're not on the beat at 4 a.m. He also is a real community-spirited guy and collects medicine for old folks and does them favours, and they totally rely on him. And you just realise that, when the post offices disappear from rural areas and the milkmen stop delivering, we will realise what we really need in Britain. We'll realise what we've missed.
I just think we live in a great country. We sometimes do ourselves down, and actually we are a country where many people aspire to come and live, and we should really grab that with both hands and say we live in a great place.
I think the British public are incredible people, and when it comes to sticking together and doing the right things and the right values, I don't think we quite celebrate that enough. I think we're probably sometimes a bit embarrassed to be proud to be British. I think that's something that we have to maintain as in our country. And I think when you watch the programme, when you see the acts of bravery that people have done. I think it does. It makes you really proud to be British, and I think that's something that we have to celebrate. Instead of, at times, I think we're very quick to not acknowledge that, and I think we should be proud of what we are.